Chancellor Olaf Scholz told me that he's going to call Vladimir Putin. Olaf's call, in my opinion, is Pandora's box. Now there may be other conversations, other calls, just a lot of words.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz held a phone conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday, marking their first discussion in nearly 2 years. The call, initiated by Berlin, comes as Scholz faces mounting domestic challenges ahead of Germany's snap election in February. The German leader urged Putin to withdraw Russian forces from Ukraine and engage in peace talks aimed at achieving a just and lasting peace, according to a statement from Scholz's office. Meanwhile, the Kremlin emphasized that any agreement must consider Russia's security interests and reflect the new territorial realities. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky criticized the move, saying it undermines efforts to isolate Putin.
And this is exactly what Putin has wanted for a long time. It is crucial for him to weaken his isolation, Russia's isolation, and to engage in negotiations, ordinary negotiations that will lead to nothing, as he has been doing for decades. This allowed Russia to change nothing in its policy, to do nothing substantial, and ultimately, it led to this war. We understand all these challenges now. We know how to act, and we want to warn everyone. There will be no Minsk III. What we need is real peace.
Sources close to Kyiv revealed that Zelensky and other European leaders had advised Scholz against initiating contact with Moscow, suspecting it was politically motivated to address domestic pressures. Scholz's Social Democratic Party faces criticism from populist parties that argue his government hasn't pursued diplomacy aggressively enough to end the war. Scholz reiterated his opposition to supplying weapons capable of striking deep into Russian territory, stating he will not approve the delivery of German cruise missiles.
And that is why I repeat my position on this issue. I am against the fact that weapons supplied by us can be fired far into Russian territory. And I will not change my position with regard to the delivery of a cruise missile from Germany.
Scholz also questioned the allocation of over 12 billion euros in support for Ukraine within the federal budget, arguing it should not come at the expense of Germany's future investments in infrastructure, security, and pensions. However, he emphasized that choosing between domestic priorities and aiding Ukraine is a false dilemma, urging unity and balanced decision-making in addressing these challenges.
One question must be answered. Should support for Ukraine be financed by more than 12 billion euros, $6 billion in the German federal budget at the expense of decisions that are necessary for the future of our country? My answer is no.
The phone call comes days after Donald Trump's re-election as U.S. president. Trump has hinted at a quick resolution to the war, though he has not provided details. His criticism of Western military aid to Ukraine adds uncertainty about the future of U.S. support for Kyiv. Germany remains Ukraine's second-largest supporter after the U.S., providing 15 billion euros in financial, humanitarian, and military aid since beginning of the conflict. However, the future of U.S. aid remains uncertain under Trump's presidency, raising concerns about Ukraine's ability to sustain its defense amid tough conditions on the Eastern Front. Scholz plans to brief Ukrainian officials, NATO allies, and EU leaders on the outcome of the discussion. Both sides reportedly agreed to maintain contact moving forward.